G'day, Craig Coltman here for FlyStream magazine. Today we're in a slightly different location. We're in the tie well warehouse, which has got to be, if you're into fly fishing or fly tying in particular, this place is a veritable lolly shop. I've never seen so many sparkles and materials in my life. So it's good to be in the tie well warehouse. And another change, we're going to do a saltwater fly today. We normally do trout flies, but today we're going to do the Muz Minnow. Which is one of my favourite bream flies, and basically it's a variation of Muz Wilson's very famous Merri minnow. I've just adapted it over the years to make it a little bit easier to tie, a little bit more robust, and with a colour combination that works well for our South Coast bream. So this is tied on a size 6 saltwater hook, and they're debarbed. I don't like to have barbs on my bream flies because bream have a very hard mouth, and at times, when you're only fishing 6 pound tippet, you can't pull hard enough to actually set the hook. So taking the barb off can actually help with penetration and hookup. We're using bright pink Danville's tying thread, and we're putting in an orange dumbbell eye. Now look, there's various eyes you can use, but these ones happen to look pretty good on this fly. Nice and bright, so we'll lash that in, paying attention just to make sure it sits squarely on top of the hook shank. That looks about right. Coming in behind the eye. Then we're going to put in our sparkle, and this is a sparkle flash in the holographic lime colour. Great colour for bream flies. In fact, on this sparkle I almost use exclusively on all of my bream flies. And we're going to tease out about 15 of the fibres from that hank. Here we go. Just a bit hanging out the end. So we'll tie in initially in behind the dumbbells a couple of times, then pull all of those fibres forward and lash that down all uniformly onto the top of the shank of the hook, going right back to the bend. Then come back to behind the eyes, and then we're going to put in some medium gold wire. So that's, again, we're going to tie in behind the dumbbells, coming back, and again come back towards the front and then in front of the eyes at this stage. Now what you do is you tease out your long sparkle flash fibres and wind them back, forming the body of the fly. Again, a nice uniform body there, into behind the dumbbells and then to the front. And then you can just catch that with your thread. Cut off the excess there. Now at this stage I like to take my wire, pull it around and down, so I'm ready for when we start to put in our zonker strip. I'll also cut off the tag, and the tag length for this fly is about the same length as the shank of the hook, so quite a long tag in this case. Now bring your thread into the back there behind the dumbbells, and we're using olive zonker strip for this fly. To just neaten up the end there, cut it nice and square. We'll tie that in directly behind the back of the dumbbells there. That's it, and then to the front again. Now at this stage, this is why I like to have this wire hanging down. We'll pull it up, and we've got to separate the rabbit fibre, the fur fibres here, because we don't wanting them to get trapped underneath the wire. So just be careful not to get too many fibres trapped. You'll get the odd one, but you don't want too many trapped. Lashing down, and we'll come back through that 3 to 4 times. I think on a size 6 it'll be about 3 turns. Again. A dubbing needle can be quite useful to use at this stage too, but I didn't bring mine with me today, so we make do with the back of the scissors. That's good. And then you come around and to the front of the fly. We'll catch that in. And just break off the excess wire. It's quite a tough one, this one. Come on. Now, at this stage, just make sure that that zonker strip is sitting on top of the shank of the hook. If it's not, you can just bend it back a bit. You can manipulate it a bit. Then you put, when we come to cut this, we cut this down near the end of the sparkle tag, and you put you don't chop it like that. You just put in the end of your scissors, the points of your scissors, and sloping them back on about a 45-degree angle. Cut it that way. And then I like to roll it over and cut it again to form a V at the back. So you can just wet that down. When that gets all wet, it'll I suppose slide back and sort of be nice and wiggly and soft in the water. Then we're going to put in our throw tackle, which again is some zonker strip. It's just a bit of bright pink rabbit fur, but we don't have the leather on this. All I want is the fur itself. Bring your thread back to behind the eyes. I'm going to tie in a little throw tackle there in the bright pink. Again, bright pink and olive are just great colours for the South Coast bream, but they've also worked well up in New South Wales for me, down in Tassie. Very good colour combination. Now we're getting to the business end for this fly. We're just ready now to put in the head. So for that I use a olive suede chenille, which are tying at the back, again behind the dumbbells. Now come to the front. So what I normally do with this, and you'll find it just trial and error, the best way to wind this on, but normally I go around the back once, then over in front of the eyes, around the back again, and then back over in front of the eyes, and then to the front. Then we finish off with a whip finish. So that gives us a bulky little head there. And then finally finish off your head with a whip finish. I don't mind a bit of that bright pink showing there. It's another added little trigger in the fly. Whip finish. And a bit of head cement just to hold that in place. And that's a variation of Muz Wilson's very famous Merri minnow, but I suppose with regards to Muz, great fly tire, I like to call this one the Muz Minnow.